Thank you. Well, let me take off my St. Philip's College mask. And in fact, tonight we have the drive-in ceremony, graduation ceremony at the AT&T Center. I want to welcome you to another episode of A Seat at the Table. And my name is Mike Flores. I'm fortunate to serve as the Chancellor of the Alamo Colleges District. And these are live streamed episodes with special guests. And we cover a variety of topics which align with the mission, vision, and values of the Alamo Colleges District family. 5,000 employees and our 65,000 students. Throughout these discussions, we encourage viewers to engage with us on social media by leaving your questions and feedback in the comments section of that. And we are going to spend some time actually beginning today and over the next couple of weeks. I mentioned graduation tonight, our kickoff ceremony at St. Philip's College, chronicling the student journey, starting about their entry, their academic success, their final semester, and then graduation. And then most importantly, students come to us not only for their education and training, but also in hopes of pursuing their passion and career. And so that's where we're going to spend some time today at the seat at the table. Before we begin with our guest today, I was able to have a sit-down interview with 5 students who will be graduating beginning tonight from each of the Alamo colleges, and I talked with them about their educational journeys, their plans, and their dreams. So please watch. I'm fortunate to be joined by graduates from each of the 5 Alamo colleges. Very exciting. And so I want to thank you all for joining us for this conversation about what it meant to be an Alamo Colleges student. The first question is, Megan, if you can kind of reflect on your decision to get your first college degree from the Alamo Colleges from Northeast Lakeview College and how that has benefited you.
Northeast Lakeview is not my first institution. I was at another institution before, but my family and I just felt it was better if I take a step back and just kind of have a redo, more or less. So Northeast Lakeview College gave me that second chance and that restart, and I have honestly succeeded in ways I don't believe I would have if I had gone somewhere else.
Alex, I want to ask, what's one highlight from your Alamo College's experience attending St. Philip's College that gives you confidence as you prepare for the next step of your life, the next stage?
My first year, my biology professor, Lori Nicholas, really the way that she taught, the way that she made everyone feel comfortable, like everyone still had a chance. Like science was intimidating to me, but then I just felt like so comfortable learning it with her. And when I think about the labs we did and all those things, that was just like the best part and really instilled my lifelong love for science and biology.
Dylan, I see you're there in red, right? So you've got your regalia, and so what is something that's motivated you throughout your experience at San Antonio College?
The relationships with a lot of the students that I've made here at San Antonio College, both younger students coming in out of high school for the first time, first generation students, and also older students, those of us who have had to wait quite a bit of time before they were either financially ready or mentally stable enough to go and get out and get that degree. And it's really those relationships that I think I value the most and what motivates me the most. And through a lot of the experiences I've had with students here, and there are people out here who are willing to help you, was very, very important to me.
I'm going to ask Carla, so what benefits did you experience by getting involved at Palo Alto College, right, at PAC, and how will that help you in the future?
I benefited a lot, being in SGA, being in many other organizations. I was able to enhance my skills of leadership, communication, teamwork. As I move forward onto my other institution next semester, I will be able to use these skills and, keep using them and keep learning from them.
What, Kayla, are you looking forward to as you prepare for graduation?
I'm just looking forward to a good future. I know some of us, it's really hard to just break down and cry when we're like struggling, but we just always have to look at the bigger picture and just see that there's a light in the tunnel and that we just got to keep going. But I know it's really hard that some of us can't experience what others have, even though I've been waiting a year and a half to walk the stage. But no worries, I'll walk the stage on my own. I'll make my own stage. But yes, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, congratulations to each and every one of our graduates that we're able to talk with and honor today, and especially for the 12,000 graduates from all 5 of our colleges. Congratulations, y'all. All right, so what a fantastic group of students that you were able to spend some time with, and that is just a handful of the 12,000 students that will begin celebrating their educational completion and journey with us at the Alamo Colleges District, beginning tonight and continuing over the next 2 weeks. I'm thankful to be joined by our board chair, Dr. Jean Sprague, chair of the board for the Alamo Colleges District, and also to be joined by Misela Gonzales-Vandewalle, who's a senior associate with O'Connell Robertson. And they've been a key industry partner, in fact, have pioneered a employer engagement activity over the last 7 years. And it's definitely one of the highlights of our employer engagement strategy here at the Alamo Colleges District. So thank you, Ms. Sella, for being with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
And I'm going to begin our conversation at the seat at the table with our board chair, with Dr. Sprague. And Dr. Sprague has been on the board for 27 years, and one of his strategic foci has been employer engagement and workforce development. And so I want to ask Dr. Sprague if you can tell us about the student success growth and journey you've seen over the 2 decades that you've been on the board.
Yeah, it's a great question that I love to answer. We have been on a student success journey with our Chancellor leadership now for a good 10 years. Most people think of Board of Trustees, your primary responsibility is fiscal matters, setting the budget, doing those kind of things, and that is an important part of our job. But under the leadership of Dr. Bruce Leslie some years ago, we got the fiscal house in order and said, but the real purpose of our mission here is seeing students succeed. And so under the leadership of Dr. Leslie and now the fantastic leadership of Dr. Mike Flores, we're moving on, at the urging of board policy for student success. Some of those things that have helped us along on that journey was the topic of our last discussion here. I think was our TAGS program, which is simply a way of us documenting and getting agreements made with all the colleges and universities in the state of Texas and some outside of Texas to accept all our credits and even in their majors. We do that exhaustive work by working with the catalogs of those universities, getting agreements with them and where they understand the quality of the education that our students get, and they're fortunate to receive our students. A critical point has also been Alamo Advise. We have the most outstanding advising program in the United States. It's a premier program. Dr. Flores was one of the initiators of that as the president of Palo Alto. We have an advisor that stays in touch with our students from the time they register, and they help with career development, getting them on a pathway, and check on their academic success as they go along. That's greatly increased our graduation rate. And we have a large number of students also that that have needs outside of paying their tuition. We have a lot of people who need food, they need housing, temporarily sometimes. They need assistance with a broken car that's suddenly put down. So we have established advocacy centers that work with the food bank, other agencies to get help and direct support to our students to allow them to stay in school. And finally, Alamo Experience, which is the heart of why we have we have our other guest with us, Misela, to give our students experience in the career that they're going to go forward in. So some of those are internships, some of those are other ways of bringing business and industry people into the classroom. But the whole idea is that every one of our students comes out of their time with us with experience and knowing where they're going.
So thank you, Dr. Sprague. And so as Dr. Sprague mentioned, it has been a journey, ensuring that we have the requisite resources, providing the right supports, teaming our students with their academic advisor, with their faculty member, and then also critically important is with an employer. And so that definitely has been an increasing focus over many years, but in particular over the last few years, with the creation by Dr. Sprague championing our workforce development. We just had an event last week in which we engaged more employers as part of our work. O'Connell Robertson has actually been a pioneer in this effort in partnering with the Alamo Colleges District. We're fortunate to be joined by Misela Gonzales-Vandewalle, a senior associate with the firm. So I wanted to ask you in particular, Misela, to tell us about the opportunities that your firm and you within the firm have created for our students with regard to experiential learning.
Absolutely. Dr. Flores, you mentioned the Job Shadow Program. We have been doing this for 7 years now, alongside many other professionals in the industry in this community. And each year, student participation has increased. Every student who has wanted to participate has been given the opportunity to do so. And throughout the history of the program, we've seen about 500 students come through and really be able to shadow an architect or an engineer in the industry. So this program allows students to experience a day in the life of an engineer or an architect. They are placed in firms throughout the community, and while the details of the day might vary from firm to firm, ultimately these students learn about projects. They get to sit in on meetings. Sometimes they participate in charrettes, and many times students have the opportunity to tour a construction site and really get a glimpse of how an idea comes to life in a very tangible way. And so ultimately, our goal is to show students the real world application of the concepts that they are gaining in the classroom to better help bridge that understanding for them.
Well, that's fantastic. Experiential learning is kind of the praxis or the connection between theory in the classroom and application, and in particular, the real world application that you mentioned. Misela, I wanted to ask in particular how O'Connell Robertson has benefited from the skills that our students have.
So first of all, former Alamo College students are talented, but more than that, they're prepared. So the programs that Alamo Colleges provides really equips them with what they need to be able to easily transition into the workforce and be really high-performing individuals. I think for me, one of the things that has been really notable is the passion that they have for their alma mater. I've heard SAC proud so often, but really that passion also translates into their craft. They're very passionate about what they do. They're passionate about the work that they produce. And that mindset really shapes them to have the right attitude, to want to be really high impactful, contributing members of the team. They're willing to be challenged and seek creative solutions. And more than anything, they want to produce quality products at the end of the day that impact the community and really give back to the community that has guided them along the way.
That's very exciting. I wanted to ask, because this is going out through social media channels, internal but also external, perhaps employer partners or folks are thinking about, well, I'm going to give Alamo Colleges District, I'm going to give San Antonio College a call about interns. You've gotten them probably very excited about this opportunity. So what would you tell those potential employer partners what's the value added? What would you tell them to make that call or send that email to us?
Do it. You will definitely be benefited by having these really creative, skilled individuals with their new ideas coming into your workplace. They have a vested interest in the community, and they want to serve you well. They want to learn more than anything. And I think anyone who has the right attitude, who comes in ready to do the work and give you their all, is the right kind of team member and someone you want to have in your firm.
That's thank you, Misela. I was going to ask Chairman Sprague, Dr. Sprague, what would you say to potential partners? I know that you've definitely articulated this both here in Alamo Colleges, but throughout the community about this value that our students provide.
I mean, it's one of the great things, one of my passions, to see every one of our students move forward immediately into their career. Now, that might be matriculation to a university, but I'm especially eager to see our students contribute to the skilled worker need in San Antonio and Bexar County. And I really appreciate the tremendous effort that Scott Robertson has made. We're working with the Economic Development Foundation to encourage more and more businesses and industries to give our students some experiential learning and tailor our programs and students to the industry's needs. So thank you so much for encouraging our students.
So that has definitely been an area of increasing importance for the Alamo Colleges District. I think critically important is to be able to provide, you mentioned the 500 students that have benefited from this particular day that O'Connell Robertson has sponsored with other firms within the industry. We're seeking to do that at scale. So to be able to provide that opportunity for all 65,000 students, each one is part of what we call Alamo Experience, which Dr. Sprague mentioned, to have a significant workplace-based learning experience during their academic journey with us. So we have really promising practices throughout the institutions. A couple of things I would like to mention. We have a wonderful private sector internship program in which students, if they are work study students, can actually now be placed in private sector employment, even small businesses or large organizations. And the Alamo Colleges District, utilizing federal funds, can pay either 100% or 50% of their salary. That was something of interest at Dr. Sprague's urging, so we applied for that and received that approval. And then the other are apprenticeships. So apprenticeships that we have focused in IT and also in manufacturing. But most importantly, I think it is that we're providing every student with the ability to both explore and then affirm their passion. I actually remember Misela from 2 years ago, pre-COVID, going to the job shadow luncheon when all the students are coming back from their morning experience at the particular firms. And one student was interested in engineering, and he said, I thought I was going to major in mechanical engineering. And I went to a site, a highway construction site, and looked at a drainage ditch. And he says, now I want to major in civil. I'm very interested in going into civil engineering as a result of just the morning that they spent. And I think that speaks to both the vision that Dr. Sprague and the trustees have articulated, and also the partnerships that we have with yourself and O'Connell Robertson in the industry. And so remember, if there are any questions that you may have related to our conversation this morning, feel free to go ahead and provide that via chat. We just have a couple more minutes. I'm going to ask Misela for a concluding thought, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Sprague to wrap it up for us. Misela?
Well, I will say it's been wonderful to be a partner. It's been as rewarding for us as it has been for these students. Being able to engage and kind of connect with them early, help them build their network early, it's such a critical part of the business. And, you know, we really want to be a support for them. We're not just committed for a day. We want to continue to support them along their journey. And so we're grateful to be partners with Alamo Colleges.
Well, we're grateful to you, and 7 years is definitely a journey and a full commitment from the firm. So thank you, and O'Connell Robertson, very much, Misela. And Dr. Sprague, a concluding thought and comment from you, sir.
Yes, I think, you know, the example that you gave of the student that changed their mind of what type of engineering he wanted to go into based on the experience with O'Connell Robertson, that's the heart of experiential learning. You know, a student that thinks they want to do one thing but actually gets to experience that gets two advantages. One, say he or she's got a little step ahead of going into their job, and the other is, you know, maybe I'd be better off specializing in something just a little bit different. So I can't thank the district enough for all our people that have developed these experiential learning programs. And also I want to thank O'Connell Robertson and other leaders out there in the business that look at that model and become involved with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sprague, and thank you, Misela Gonzales-Vandewalle, for being with us at this episode, another episode of A Seat at the Table. I especially want to thank each of you for tuning in with us. We're very proud of all of our students and their successes, our graduates. The intent is that they would be able to go into the public and private sector after their time with us or after and during their time with the university. You can look forward to more of these live stream discussions in the future, and be sure to follow us across all our social media channels with the Alamo Colleges District to receive news and updates about future episodes. And we actually have the opportunity right after this to continue our partnership with Texas Public Radio for our new post show called Take Two with TPR. We encourage you to stay tuned with us right after this, and look forward to the discussion with Camille Phillips from Texas Public Radio. Thank you all for joining us today.
Good morning and welcome to Take Two with TPR. I'm Camille Phillips with Texas Public Radio. Take Two with TPR is a partnership with the Alamo Colleges District. We follow a seat at the table episodes and kind of dig a little deeper into the conversation that just finished. So today we are talking about experiential learning primarily. It's a graduation season as students are kind of transitioning from the classroom to the workforce. And so we are talking about an element where hopefully students can connect with the workforce before graduation and kind of get a jump start on their careers. So I'm going to jump right in. We are here with Yasmin Esquives. She is a San Antonio College graduate, correct? And now you work for O'Connell Robertson, which is an architecture and engineering firm, correct? Yes. And you had an opportunity. We're also here with Dr. Flores. We'll talk with him in just a second. But I did want to ask, you had an opportunity to job shadow with O'Connell Robertson before you graduated from San Antonio College?
Yes, that's correct. I participated in that a few years ago, and it was a great experience for sure.
Great. I just want to ask, is Mike okay? Sorry, sound person. Do we need to move the mic closer to her? Yeah. Want to make sure you all can hear. Okay, great. So what was your job shadowing experience like at O'Connell Robertson then?
So it was great. Just the fact that all these students are able to participate and, visiting these firms and seeing the real life experience of how, the backside of these careers work. It was really, life changing, and it was motivation. We kind of saw that as motivation to, finish our careers and get out there in the field and start working. That was an awesome experience for sure.
So did you shadow like an architect or an engineer, or what did you do that day?
So it was definitely an architecture firm, and they took all the students, and we were able to see, the desk and the office and what it is that they do, type of, model making, renders, and just, all these types of designs that are very innovative, education and healthcare. And that is kind of very exciting for us because being on the studio side, we come up with a lot of theory, projects that never really get built, in real life. So seeing how that makes such an impact was fulfilling for us, and just that motivation for us to get out there and be sitting there one day as an architect was what we wanted to achieve for sure.
So did you already want to be an architect before you did the job shadow?
Oh, yes, for sure. I was already in the architectural program at San Antonio College. When we did that, I believe I was in my second year of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. Dr. Flores, you have been doing this Alamo experience for a couple years now, right? But it sounds like you still want to build it some more. How many students in Alamo Colleges right now get to have an experience like Yasmin had?
So we have about 65,000 students. So I would say about 10%, close to 7,000 students have these types of engagements, right? So as Yasmin mentioned, and the power of that engagement in particular, the involvement of a firm like O'Connell Robertson, that's really one of the pioneering efforts, right? 7 years in the making. And so what we want to do is be able to utilize that innovation and carry it over to other sectors. And not only at San Antonio College, where Yasmin was a student, but at all 5 of the colleges within our family. So that's the goal. And we're have just begun that journey. As you mentioned, we're in our second year to be able to do that for students to explore and then affirm career choice, right? Either upon graduation with us or as they go on to university.
That brings me to the next question. You went to Texas Tech after you graduated from San Antonio College, is that correct?
I did, yes. I did the 2+2 program, and so after I transferred to Texas Tech, and I can say and speak for a lot of my colleagues at San Antonio College, was that, we have this role that and this reputation that if you come from San Antonio College, just having this on your resume, it stands out a lot. And once we transferred, they expected a lot from us because they have heard great things from us. So we take San Antonio College with us with pride, and we carry that passion, everywhere we go, to the next university, to the next, firm where we're working at, that always carries with us. Yes.
Nice. Okay. And so That was something I was going to ask you again, Dr. Flores, is that, so is your goal then to have job shadowing experiences for both students that are going directly to the workforce after they get their associates and students that transfer, or do you have different kind of experiential learning goals depending on their pathway?
I think the intent is for each student to be able to explore and affirm what they would like to do upon graduation with us. So some of those are already built into the programs right now. So it could be a nursing student, it could be somebody that is in a workforce program. I think it could be a student who would like to pursue perhaps English at the university. Well, then they could go to a public relations firm and see what that firm does. They could go into a multimedia firm and see. They could volunteer perhaps to create an online newsletter with a nonprofit agency. It's for them to be able to look at an area of interest. It's going to be a passion, determine if they still have that interest in that field or be able to move to another area. One of the things is that actually close to 80% of our students, right, are placed in employment upon graduation, which is, I think, very exciting for them to be able to do that. So we want more Yasmins, right? We want students who have definitely had that experience. What is most important is the partnership with the public and private sector partner. A firm like O'Connell Robertson, who is able to provide that experience to our students. And so as they go to university, they have that distinct value on their resume or their portfolio that makes them very competitive.
I see. So it's not only a part of your resume for maybe being accepted at college, but also post-college.
Yes.
Was it beneficial for you to have that affirmation that, yes, I want to do this career before you transferred? So you had that already 2 years ahead of maybe officially entering the workforce?
Yes, definitely. And I could say San Antonio College and even the architecture department has, a lot of beneficial programs like these, Job Shadow Day. They, have a lot of programs that even involve you part of the community. I remember one time we did this, little playground in one of the buildings of San Antonio College, and it was just for studio purposes, but that engages you more in the community and it kind of motivates you of real life projects, and so definitely whenever I did transfer to Texas Tech, I still wanted to be a part of that. So, just finding a firm, I don't think I would have found a better firm to know that they're giving back to, San Antonio College, this place that helped you get to where you are. And it's really fulfilling and rewarding to be a part of that.
Nice. Because now you are employed by O'Connell Robertson. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I'm part of the architectural department there.
Nice. How long have you been working there?
So I've been working there for 4 months. So I'm fresh, new. I'm starting off, but so far it's been beyond what I've expected. And I know there's more to come for sure.
Nice. And you've already had SAC students shadow you in those 4 months?
Yes. I was fortunate to be part of that. For me, that was just, like I said, very rewarding because a few years ago, I was on the other side of that. I was a student, visiting a firm, and now I'm able to host it along with my amazing colleagues at O'Connell Robertson. And it's just, that's the goal that we're all trying to achieve,
Nice. Do you have friends from college that maybe at their Texas Tech, maybe did they have those kind of experience as well? Were they able to job shadow?
Oh, yes, for sure. I could say that, the program at San Antonio College for architecture was so small that we all just kind of known each other. And a lot of my friends transferred with me to Texas Tech. And I know that they also, even being, at a different university, we were always SAC proud. And that was a motto always because we had such a strong foundation starting at San Antonio College that it didn't matter where we transferred. That was our pride. And even still to the day, conversations come up and it's we're so SAC proud that was our first college that we went to. So
nice.
Yes.
Were you able to do any other kind of internships or kind of workforce connecting opportunities before you graduated from Texas Tech?
So I did work at, I did other internships at other firms. And I can say that every single place, they take that into account, that if you do come from San Antonio College, they prefer that. They know that they're going to get a very good intern, a very good, employee, and I've heard that throughout, most of the architecture firms. So that follows through.
Nice. I know we're about to wrap up, but I did want to ask one last question, Dr. Flores. Are there particular private sector areas that you want to get more firms and employers involved? Like who you want to come forward and say, yes, we want to work with you?
I think that, our challenge as a community is talent. And that's our goal, is to provide talent, and folks like former students like Yasmin who are able to go into the workforce. We're looking for private sector partners in all areas. So whether that is healthcare, manufacturing, IT, creative, and communication arts. So all of those areas are super critical, because that's our challenge as a community, and increasingly within the United States, right, is having folks who are trained in those high wage, high demand fields like Yasmin.
Sounds great. Well, this has been Take Two with TPR, our partnership with the Alamo Colleges District. Yasmin, Dr. Flores, thank you so much for your time. And private sector, sounds like you need to hit up Alamo Colleges to offer internship or job shadowing opportunities.